When you see that whistle, you already know what it is. You know what I'm saying? We already know what it is. Jupiter and Gemini. Jupiter is in Gemini now. So it's going to be cusping for a little bit. You know, so things are still trying to get a lot more stable, you know, a lot more air and earth, trying to count on the left brain of things more, the logic, you know, the information. Um, and with Jupiter and Gemini, you know, this is a chance for you to kind of get more familiar with the aspect of the planet that is in Gemini, Jupiter. Now, what is Jupiter? Jupiter, expansion, right? You got meanings, reasonings, you got experiences. So, you know, that's that wisdom, that's that knowledge when you gain that. So, you know, this is like getting us familiar with that energy, right? Because, like we said, the Gemini energy is familiarity. So, just get more familiar with our faith, knowledge, meanings, reasons, wisdom. Now, time out is Kelsito, the spirit coach, getting you in shape and form for the age of Aquarius yet again. You know, now within all of that, you're not drinking the wine of Zeus. And now within all of that, you know, with us just getting more familiar with, you know, your experiences and shit like that, and your faith, you kind of supposed to be interpreting and coming up with logic and rationality on what faith you have been using that ain't been worth shit, and what faith that you have been using that ain't really meshed with a sense of familiarity. Because you can have a faith, right? But it's just like having a faith that nobody gonna do, even if it seems like it's morally correct. That's like wanting to save the children and shit like that. But you gotta govern. Yeah, you gotta. You got. You know, people eating babies and stuff like that. So it's kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, your faith can be moral, but is it predicated on you actually, you know, being familiar with what is and what ain't, so you can have the actual knowledge and the mentality to how to right starting points to kind of get you starting to work in them areas that you need to work on mentally. So you may have to work on, you know, do some shadow work on what type of faith you got. You know what I'm saying? All the way down to, you know, if you're a Christian, you know, you may feel like that faith not working for you. Or, you know, if you're, you know, Muslim or something like that. Or so it can bring a lot of questions and ideas to the causality of faith. And it don't really matter which one works. Well, which one is the right one. Let's just say that. You know, it would more so matter on like which one is the most accurate one that kind of works for you, and which one is like best for, you know, your bandwidth of information, which is your environment. You know what I'm saying? And how you can operate all the way down to how you feel physically day to day when you get up and smile. So, you know, getting more familiar with your faith and stuff like that will kind of also take you out of instances where you kind of doing the same things over and over again, but you gotta like develop some type of intellectualism and also make ideas, that idea be, you know, in the aspect of communicated that, hey, you familiar with them types of testimonies, you familiar with them types of ideas, you familiar with even just doing certain things that don't necessarily work. So, you know, so it's a lot of weird energy too, because it's like they got us mixed in where it's like we kind of got a new energy, but it's still just common sense. So at the same time, it's like the new ability really ain't kind of looked at it like that based upon like how they're picking certain information and um, kind of playing it out, you know, and what puppets they get their money to and stuff like that, and the regular average individual humanoid with no mind and shit like that can be hooked upon these individuals based upon, you know, uh, just clout and stuff like that, or just wanting to be familiar. Everybody want a sense of familiarity. Like nobody want to be, you know what I'm saying? Everybody want to come home and come to their home. I ain't even talk about like a physical home, but where they're comfortable at and feel a nice peace, a sense of serenity and peace. So, all the way down to this content where, because I can go there and I can, start talking about the government and the situations uh, and things of that nature. I can get there and I can do that, but is it like even worth it? You know what I'm saying? You got like people like not giving a fuck about none of that. So it's like everybody only care about Google. Everybody calling about what's going on, everyone in this thing. Everybody only care about Google, you know. So you just gotta get familiar with your faith. Sometimes it's like, you know, you can have too much of faith, you know, and it's not even just to sound defeated, but it's just for analytical purposes. Like remember, when we dealing with Gemini, we're not talking about like trying to set something in stone, but we're adjusting mentally. It's Gemini season, so we're adjusting mentally, you know, because we're trying to see what to give attention to. The government got, all of our minds like over here and over here. And, it's like, what do we pay attention to? So much information. And then, they got all of us playing the new news and the new common sense channel, but we not being even compensated for that or whatever. And then if you ask them, they only gonna be Google. So it's just fucked up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? They only gonna be Google. So they only gonna answer you in a limited way. Other than that, they will be on here and we will be interested in their topics about life. You know what I'm saying? And how they can just get on here regular, like Cito, and just, have just character that can inspire someone to like start bettering their mind, even within the context of whatever measure concept that they might give us. So that, just may be the outer line that eventually like you may have to deal with and go through, you know what I'm saying, being on here. So it's like they putting us in a position like where we run the world, but we not getting compensated the right way or help and stuff like that. And that's a lot of pressure, you know what I'm saying? Because y'all know damn well y'all didn't do it like that. So it's just weird, but it ain't like even we trying to run the world. It's just like we got common sense. It's just like we got common sense. You get what I'm saying? But to actually spike the thought, we gotta come like that a little bit because they put us in that position to kind of act that way, So it's different, us as the content creators. out here, essentially, and that's how we got to keep going. But like I said, these just planets is good as Gemini season. So we are trying to get more familiar and know what to give our attention to and things. And sometimes we want to give attention to what we got going on, especially all of us, that resonate as a soul family and a soul group. We know it's better ways. We know that, everybody um, can have a better way of looking and going about certain things, you know. And if it's a certain portion of people that is fine and that is living good, that's cool, But what about people, that don't got that do, that don't have, they need, uh, to be heard too. And so that's when we represent these voices of people that's coming like us, that's really into the shit a certain way, but it be feeling threatened because of, you know, the way the knowledge is coming, But yeah, for sure. Shout out to Meet the Channel of Fun, but yeah, so we just experiencing a sense of more familiarity, you know, um, with our faith and our meanings and reasonings. When Jupiter's here, it's gonna go here for a little minute, but it's gonna go retrograde, and then we got the Sun in Gemini and stuff like that. So we're all trying to create an environment, where we can give our attention to. But like I said, because of things in certain transformations, we still got to take power and control over, due to the failures of society in the past, based upon them baiting us with things like race and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And we all motherfucking spirits, and we all care about the same things energetically first. You know what I'm saying? Everybody care about survival, safety, security, shelter, and stuff like that. I work with all multiple different people, and shit, they only care about, how good work you gonna do, and if you're not a bitch when you're doing that work or not. You know what I'm saying? And if you got something, because when you're not a bitch when you're doing that work, that's gonna show them that what you got, what that let them know whatever you upholding on your own as a man, that's something solidified. That's something that, you care about. So that's how men connect. We connect like that. Because we ain't trying to thrash each other, but we just trying to compete for the best type of way or solutions and stuff like that. So, it ain't really about no skin complexion. And so these are all things that kind of need to be updated, throughout society, but there's no, so they kind of leave it to us, right? But then they give us crumbs to do it. Like they don't give nobody monetization. They don't give nobody no looks, unless you on a certain program. So it's everybody Google. So if you answer, and so they only give people that's like Google worthy. You get what I'm saying? Not knowing, not understanding, and people with the average mind not knowing, understanding that once this language and what helped build this shit was some whole different shit that wasn't done before. So it's like you got to keep that type of system. So it's either all of them Google too, you know what I'm saying, or some shit like that. What up, Dedo? I don't know my exact birth time, but ride these currents with the soul. Yeah, make sure you ride these currents, These currents, we got a lot of shifts in the energies, a lot of shit going into Gemini. So we still experiencing springtime. And this spring is we all inspired to get up. We was all inspired to, advance on our ideas. Right now we're trying to figure out, what's this idea that's worth expressing and shit like that. And, we getting that together. But yeah, man, I'm just down. Getting down out here. Now, Jupiter don't like being in Gemini either, because Jupiter is more so feeling and emotion based. Mercury and like Gemini is like more so communicated. So this was just like, you don't like really to communicate your faith. You know what I'm saying? When you got faith, you like for that play out to be felt and then just, experience. Like having to say, I know it a lot of times. I know it, it's an affirmation, but sometimes that can get repetitive and almost feel like you kind of blocking the experience. So that's kind of what Jupiter, you don't feel like, how the thoughts and the surroundings and what actually is familiar is experiencing is it feels opposite. You know what I'm saying? To actually what we uh, want to experience, what I'm saying, as far as community and stuff like that. So we can kind of feel a little distant, you know, but this is kind of teaching us to expand on our faith and let us know which one, or which way to move and what's worth being faithful or not, you know, for the sense of adjusting your mentality. But yeah, all right, man. Y'all already know what's going on. I'm Kelsey, the Spirit Coach. Get your ass in the game.